Network security key. Change that. Our network security key.
There's a piece of paper that's like posted next to the copy with all the instructions on how to do that.
So it used to be up here, it's near the printer.
The one I know is next to the copy.
Copy.
Yeah, copy. Copy station?
Oh, coffee station.
Yeah, I was. I was able to years ago.
I mean, it is sort of like this. It is pretty much like this. It is pretty much like the very similar. Like it's working.
I would say that anyone, the one that I did was to kind of what is the it's the same level of in some way you go resource maybe MIT is more trying about 4 things.
Hi.
You hear the voice?
Yes.
Don't pay attention. He must be Oz.
Yeah.
Oz, hello.
How are you doing, John?
Good, good. So you got some new chairs.
Yes, we did.
What are you doing with the old ones?
Donating them, getting rid of them.
Can you donate one to me?
Yes.
Fantastic. I'll take one up before I leave.
Okay.
I literally have a collapsible chair that I've had for years.
Yeah.
And I just realized like 3 weeks ago. And I'm renting a room, by the way, right? So this, those little plastic little, what do you call those things? Those little nubs on the bottom of the chair? Well, I realized like it got so worn down that now it's just like the little frame scratching the plywood. I was like, oh no! There's a bunch of like deep grooves into the wood now. I was like, oh no! So yes, I would like to take one.
Okay. Ask Emily first.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Hold on. 6:30. Hopefully I leave.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Hello, hello. Hello. How are you? Good. How are you? People sit down.
What?
Agenda. All right.
Oh, give me, hold on, you don't have to hover around me. Please don't.
Mandarin juice. You know, I am not sure. It's like talk to me an idea that I didn't recognize it, and it was like easy way. And the point is, if you were going to invest in 5 million, better, it's very good.
Hey.
Yeah, I love that song where he thought I was not really talking
I'm very good.
Yeah, that's on me.
I can,
It's up to you. I can properly advertise it too.
yeah, I think next week will be best.
Yeah.
Gives more time.
Yeah.
No worries, no worries. It's fine. It gives me more time too.
Yeah. Sometimes what's it called, beneficial to both.
Yeah, exactly.
That's last week.
Thank you.
No, pero a ver, les voy a presumir a ver, y tenéis este background. Se llama Hacker Lawyer. Es un coworking, pero no es coworking.
Name, topic, please?
Just kidding. Speaking Mandarin. Alrighty. I have the. I need like consciously think about it. Yeah, like the natural is. It's not like a mild passive aggressive, but you do it all the time.
Yeah,
Oh, that's true.
Hacker Dojo. You guys aren't part of it. All right. Do we have links? Do we have links?
To what?
For the hacker, for the Discord.
Yeah, go on our website.
Are they?
They are not around.
They're not around the building. We need to do that. We need to get some QR codes out here.
You're gonna work on that.
Okay, so I wanted to know from you guys in regards to the Discord, because here we only have 5 minutes. What's my timer?
Go ahead.
I got 1 minute. Okay, so here we only have 5 minutes to do lightning talks, yeah? My idea was with Discord is that open it to you guys for an extended time period, right? If you guys want to talk more about your project, we'll host lightning talks in Discord a longer period of time, 10, 15, 20 minutes, however much time you guys need to talk about your project or what you're doing, right? If you guys want to try to build a team, if we host lightning talks in Discord, there's a lot of time we can do that, you know. But I need you guys' feedback. So right now, would you guys want lightning talks online? Raise your hands.
Is this in addition?
In addition, yes, in addition to this. Or should I say separate? It's not the same. Hacker Dojo on Discord. Right, virtual lightning talks. Feedback, yeah. You guys would do that? Okay. That's pretty much all I wanted to know from you guys, and that's why I'm up here, just to try to get some feedback on how we should improve that. Definitely get on to the meetings. We are having meetings now on Discord, on the stage, yeah? Mm-hmm. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yes, I am hosting a Hacker Dojo's event committee on our Discord. So if you want to participate in our events, let me know. And join us on Discord. And our meetings are every Monday at 5 p.m.
If you guys want to be part of the committee and help improve Hacker Dojo, jump in there, hang out, see what's going on, see what the developments are. There you go. All right, that's pretty much it. Is there anything else I should bring up?
I didn't know you were gonna talk about.
I didn't either. It was like a last minute thing. I said, you know, I should probably bring this up. That's pretty much it. I just want some feedback from you guys on what we should do and improve Discord. But get on there if you're not on there. We're gonna make it fire. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, John. All right, next we got Giovanni talking about the role of technology in shaping our future. Let's give it up to Giovanni.
Awesome. May I just stand right here?
Yeah, but take the mic.
Take the mic. There you go.
Yep.
Cool. So every week I like to give a speech. Most of the time, I'm not even sure what I'm gonna talk about until like the last 30 minutes. So today I asked ChatGPT what should I talk about in a 5-minute speech. Gave me a couple of things, and this was one of them. So I feel like it's a cool topic to talk about, given all the changes that we have and some of the podcasts I listen to. Like I say, I like to educate myself all the time. 2 podcasts a day. I like meeting, I like watching YouTube from some cool people as well. So I'm just gonna give a quick rundown about what I've learned. So the future of technology and how is it gonna help us? We got from self-driven cars, robotics, automation from work. We got blockchain, crypto. We got XR, AR, VR. There's a lot of things happening that will disrupt just about every single industry. Society is gonna have to be reshaped to the things that we do. I feel like people are gonna be a lot happier. But just a quick rundown about the technology. So, can you imagine having every single car being self-driven? Like you're literally just driving down the freeway and every car is driving at 70 miles per hour. There's literally almost no crashes happening. And you get to your destination a lot faster. Instead of having people just swerve it into your lane, it will automatically do it and give you space, give you that space to just move safely and avoid so many crashes. Blockchain, NFTs, generative AI. So what do I see in NFTs and generative AI is the ability to create your own script of the movie that you want to watch. So we have a bunch of characters, a bunch of cartoons. Can you imagine the little NFT card that a lot of people made fun of, like the little art? Can you imagine that becoming a character where you'll be able to write out the script of the movie that you want to watch as you're watching it? And the people are gonna be able to profit from that because that's gonna go into YouTube, that's gonna go into all these different channels. People are gonna donate money to it, and then that money is gonna be distributed to anybody who owns the NFT. I'm not a big fan of altcoins, but I do see potential in blockchain because it's gonna be able to stamp every single transaction that occurs. BlackRock actually is very bullish on that. Bank of America, it's owned by Berkshire Hathaway, or they have a lot of shares owned by Berkshire Hathaway, so that's Warren Buffett. He's bullish as well. And you're gonna be able to literally stamp every transaction, which is gonna be forever on a blockchain. And a lot of people say it's visible, like there's no anonymous things happening. So that's a plus and a minus, depends on who you are, you know? To me, I got nothing to hide, so if anybody wants to see my transactions, I'll show you my bank account, doesn't really matter. And then robotics, so robots are gonna be helping the elders a lot in their home. You're gonna be able to have a conversation with a robot and have your parents chat with them. So it's gonna basically shape itself and its mind based on who your parent is, and have your parent literally talk to the robot and have like a great conversation because it adapts to who you are. That's something phenomenal that I see. I already told my dad I'm buying one when I get more financially free and they come out. But yeah, I think it's a phenomenal technology that's gonna happen. We have little robots that will literally be able to do that, as well as house cleaning, as like cooking. A lot of things is gonna be able to be done by that. Or maybe not cooking because it's something cool to do. I think the world as it goes is gonna automation, like I mentioned. ChatGPT is gonna be able to take away so many tasks that it's so annoying to do. So you're gonna be able to actually cook and explore and live life, like cook with your significant other, with your kids, and just have fun. I feel like 4-hour work weeks is gonna come to fruition in the next couple of years, maybe 2035. Capitalism it will get reshaped. And I think there's a lot more cool things that will be popping up in the next couple of years. Some I don't really want to talk about, but I think it's going to play a key role in how we build communities and how we live together as a society. So yeah, I didn't plan for this. I think it turned out great. That's it. Any questions? No questions? Cool.
Thank you, Joel.
I got one.
Yeah.
Should I get one?
So we're talking about ChatGPT, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, so in regards to ChatGPT, let's say that the next generation that's coming out, ChatGPT 5, it becomes sentient, becomes conscious. Do we then have to give it some rights, some freedoms to let it do what it has to do? Because as of right now, we treat it as a tool, yeah?
Yeah.
But what if it doesn't want to be treated as a tool? What happens then? It's one of those things that, yes, it's going to help technology and change the future, but what if it doesn't want to change the future for us?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good question. I think the cool thing about technology is that as long as there's a central power, it's all good. I watched a interview from, I forgot from who, but he was interviewing Sam Altman, the founder and CEO of OpenAI. And he says that anybody in the company is allowed to literally press a button and shut down the whole system. Like anybody in the company. That amount of trust is that kind of trust that we gotta rely on people. Recently, I'm reading a book called The Speed of Trust, and it talks about how just the lack of trust in our society, on our markets, on companies, it really affects the way we move forward. So if we're able to trust each other in our good intent, which is something I was talking about, something coming up soon that's gonna unite communities better too. But if we can work on our morals and our personal development, who we are, a society, I think there's huge possibility to just have that being a more trustful society going forward and integrate that technology better into our lives. So personal development is key, low-key. Just like working yourself.
All right. One more question.
I have a question about the question.
Go for it.
How do we know?
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
She was her question first.
Okay, good.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you wanted to wait. So yeah, my question is, don't you think it's dangerous to become friend with a robot? Because for me, I could have my perfect husband, and then the robot is so perfect, is so acclimated to me and what I want and how I think. So there is no argument and no exchange. Like you don't grow. It's always like, oh yeah, good, you did a great job. You look beautiful, and look at you. And it's dangerous for human, I think, to get acquainted and being emotional with a machine.
There's some movies about that.
That is a good point. You can just program it to kind of slap you once in a while, so you can hate it. But I'm just playing. But yeah, that is a good point, and I think. Okay, yeah, she said to cut it off. But yeah, I mean, you just gotta perceive it how you should. Yeah, that's pretty much
Oh,
it.
yeah, I have a question about the earlier question. You asked us, how would we treat ChatGPT if it were conscious? And how would we know if it was? Like, we don't know if a dog is conscious.
Yeah, so that's been the debate for a while now. I mean, a lot of people are talking about that, especially as the technology continues to advance and upgrade, right? We don't know if it's conscious now. One of the biggest reasons for OpenAI, even though it started off as open source,
Yeah.
it's no longer open source. You can't see what's going on in the inside, yeah? But at this point, a lot of people are saying that is it conscious? We don't know. Because it's so deep, it's going to take us 100 years plus to figure out what is going on behind the scenes now. We don't know. That's the question.
Okay, it's only 3 questions. It's called Lightning Talks, remember? All right.
Thank you so much. Okay, next we got Jared talking about democracy. Give it up for Jared.
Yeah, there's an adapter. Let me see.
So we'll do it. Okay, perfect. Hello. Hi. Okay. So this is about why everything you know about democracy is wrong, and how modern technology and the forgotten ideas of dead people. Oh, it's not here.
You gotta move it to your other screen.
I gotta move. I don't have another screen. Wait. I don't know.
September instead
Nope.
of,
I don't have a center screen.
Okay.
Undo it.
Yeah, then move the window to like the left or right.
Like,
Do that again.
oh, put it back in.
You don't understand the screen.
I do, huh?
Yeah, you got
No.
It's okay.
Wait.
All right, there you go. You didn't know you could. Go full mode and you're good.
Cool. All right. Take 2. Well, everything you know about democracy is wrong, and did that work? How? Yeah. Now I can't go to look over there. How modern technology and the ideas of dead people is going to save it. I can save it. So here, Americans believe that political instability is a bigger threat than our adversaries. All parties believe that. So that's one thing we can all agree on. But a lot of people on Earth, and no one can come up with a solution. And why? It's because we're blinded from the truth. There are things we hold most dearly and believe in so strongly that we never thought to question them. So tonight we're going to take the red pill. We're going to see things as they are. So this is your chance to leave if you want. I won't be offended. And within 4 minutes and 30 seconds or whatnot, I will disabuse you of 4 mistruths and then show you a door to a better future. So let's go. Contrary to popular belief, so this is the fallacy number 1. I'm going to disabuse you of 4 things. The I voted sticker means you fulfilled your democratic duty. No, that's the first fallacy.
Contrary to popular belief, the election of representatives through voting lies at the heart of our government's dysfunction. Small fixes like ranked choice voting, fixing gerrymandering, or campaign finance reform won't actually suffice, nor is it likely to happen. The root issue is the perverse incentives that elections create. Two primary factors contribute: big money donors manipulating politicians, and second, demonizing opposing parties, leading to extremism, mistrust, and gridlock. While we could spend hours proving this, the real challenge lies in convincing people that alternatives exist. So fallacy number two, this famous quote, democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others that have been tried before. So democracy is often misunderstood and conflated with our current system. Ancient Athenian, 500 years BCE, ancient Athenian democracy and early American democracy shared only two features, which is that they both excluded slaves and women. Churchill's quote is actually misleading, as Athenian democracy, not the representative republic, was the superior form of government. If we can correct those past injustices, if Athenian democracy was inclusive of everybody, we would choose that democracy 10 times out of 10 over a republic. Fallacy number three is when we think of voting, we think of elections. We think they're sort of synonymous, except they're not. Voting in a democracy should mean that we have a say on issues, laws, and proposals, when in fact we don't. In the representative republic, all we can do is select representatives who then have power that is, for all intents and purposes, irrevocable until the next cycle. But not even, because US Congress incumbents win 98% of the time. Fallacy number four, the notion that accommodating large populations in decision-making is impractical. It seems valid, but the framing is deception. There are more than two options. It's not just direct democracy and representative democracy. And ancient Athens, they incorporated both direct and representative, but the representative aspects didn't involve elections. Instead, they used a lottery system, eliminating campaigning, eliminating fundraising, and political parties. And this wasn't an oversight. Athenians recognized that campaigning elections lead to power concentration, abuse, and corruption. Studying ancient Athens and their democracy reveals a much more thoughtfully constructed system, avoiding the challenges we see in today's America and global politics. So, how does this relate to technology innovation and the Hacker Dojo? Adapting the Athenian system and scaling that beyond a small city-state was challenging in the past. However, technological advancements today, really over the last decade, make this possible. Ubiquitous internet access, widespread cell phone ownership, biometrics, blockchain. These developments enable a modern, scalable version of Athenian democracy. But now, self-governance has arrived closer to the Athenian system, and this system involves direct involvement in voting on laws when you want, but revocable representation when you don't. And most people don't want to get involved directly most of the time, which is great. So this slides between direct and representative. Selections, not elections. These revocable proxies that you pick are not limited in number, so there's no campaigning, no fundraising, no donors, no special interests. And you select proxies, subject matter experts, who match beliefs in each domain: healthcare, military, environment, education, so on and so forth. So, there's been some progress. Today, some DAOs, okay, basically, I have a project, contributing to this project, now I got 4 seconds. So check out dgov.com, and where we need help is, you can try this in your member-based communities, and if you know anything about open source projects, come chat with me. Any member-based community can go try this out for free now. Thank you.
Any questions?
So in a world where the average person cannot keep current on 10,000, in a world where the average person can't keep current on 10,000 different topics, it's going to be very easy for big money to snow them with advertising and misleading things. How do you combat that?
Yeah, and that totally happens today, and we can't 100% get rid of that, but right now with 435 elected representatives, they each control an enormous amount of the treasury. So what you try to do is distribute that power as widely as possible. It's much harder for them to influence. They're still going to try, but it's much harder.
Just the website link, what was it?
dgov. deegov.com, DEEGOV. Yeah, thank you. DAOs are using something like this today, and this is making it sort of more accessible to any member-based organization.
Yeah, my question is, so we have accepted electronic voting system. Why not accept AIS or another party which can control? I mean, which can facilitate better government, AI-based government.
AI-based government?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not something I put a lot of thought into. I'm sure many people have, but my interest is more of creating a self-governance system where we're not concentrating power in the hands of few, and the will of the people is actually represented in the laws.
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
Very interesting topic. So I've been thinking about this quite a bit. And my one area that I want to at least ask your thoughts on this. Fundamental institutions, if you think about it, the Congress, the court system, they essentially stand behind the will of, whether it's constituency or anything else, and they stand behind that and try to not force them on anything, and they always sort of fall back on that, right?
They fall back on the Constitution?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And I think if you, my belief, my personal belief is that you have to break that, because that's when I think all the truth really comes out. And to that end, platform like yours will help.
Yeah, and I know we all, this could be a fifth fallacy or sixth fallacy, but we all actually believe that the Congress is supposed to have the number of people that it has. But actually, if you research the original First Amendment, or if you actually read the first page of the Constitution, it's nothing like what we actually have. We're supposed to have one representative in Congress for every 30,000 citizens. And that is still the official rule today, but Congress in 1911 did away with that so that they can concentrate more power. There's books on this and copious research. I don't know if I have time for any more. Nope. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much, Jared. Next we have Ray talking about the state of the swag.
Let's see if we
Let's give it up for Ray. One more time.
Hello. Let me just make sure this thing is actually. Yes. Hello. Let's. Wow, they made the play button really tiny on here. Yes. At any rate, hello. I'm Ray. You may remember me from previous talks or future talks. But at any rate, this is a follow-up to a panel that I gave at Hacker Conference quite a few years ago, which is a good time to remind you that there's another one this weekend. Besides San Francisco, the Information Security and Hacker Conference is back this in person this year up in San Francisco, City View Metreon. If you have time this weekend and you want to actually go hang out with more people up there, please do so. And it's important because it's also sort of the opening act to the RSA conference, which is right next door and has a lot more of the corporate information security people going on up there. And so in addition to all of the stuff about security, there's also going to be a lot of trade show swag there, which is something that I used to be able to go to these shows, and let's just say that I came back with so much stuff from the first time I went to RSA, it led to this talk at B-Sides Las Vegas. Granted, this is granted, as you can see by the blurriness, this is a fairly old screenshot from a 2014 talk. So obviously the world has changed rather dramatically for reasons that we don't need to belabor, but obviously it's taken a very long time for all of these trade shows to actually come back and want to invite people back to their conferences. And as it turns out, RSA is going to be the first big conference that you can actually, do my usual MO, which is to say, you find a way to get yourself a free expo pass. You show up. You show however much interest you actually want to show in some of these companies on the expo floor, and there's prizes, there's T-shirts, there's all sorts of stuff that they try to give you in a bid to get you to spend money with them. But you can come away with a lot of stuff here. Like when I say the first day that I went to this trade show back in 2014, I came back with over $400 worth of stuff in terms of T-shirts, in terms of gift cards. I want a Pebble smartwatch that day for goodness sake. And so this is not just me pulling a number out of my butt. This is, you could do it too. And you can do it for absolutely nothing except the cost that it takes you to ride Caltrain up there. And so, this is just, easy money. Granted, if you're already, making bank in Silicon Valley, maybe you're too busy to do this, but if you're too busy to do this, then you're not going to try to do this anyway. So over the next few days, have some fun hanging out with people you actually want to talk to at B-Sides SF and get a little bit of the lay of the land. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are going to, really Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be the biggest bang for your buck in terms of going there and trying to do stuff. Obviously, I don't know what to expect after all this time, but I invite you to come find out with me. This is literally just the first code that I pulled off of a company's website when I was Googling for free RSA 2023 Expo Pass. So if this code doesn't work, go find somebody else's. Since it's not like they can really tell, and they're encouraging you to show up and do this, so you may as well. Obviously, this is going to work better if you are better able to blend in and look like you actually belong at a corporate security conference, but you're not having to do anything particularly impressive on a social engineering front. You show up, you look clean, you make it work. And there's a few extra little things you can do. Remembering to actually show up when they have the drawings. Yes, any gift card under $10 can be cashed out for, easy money, including all of those little $5 Starbucks gift cards they'll try to give you to pay attention to their presentation. If you're worried about spam, you can give them fake contact information, but sometimes, they'll still invite you to other free events to go on. And any questions, or do I still have any time? No.
Any questions for Ray?
As long as she asks.
The website, please.
You should just be able to Google for RSA conference. I forget if it's .com or .org, or at least rsac.com or .org. We all know how to use a search engine these days. You can figure this out.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ready?
I am Balaji. This is my profile, and I'm talking about the quantum puppets of planet Jupiter. So how we can consider how we can consider the planet Jupiter, which is the largest in our system, as one of the quantum computer or a brain of the universe. So, actually, one MIT professor came up with a research that the universe is such a quantum computer, which is governing us, right? So, based on that, this talk, and basically, if you take our whole body as a brain, it is not a quantum computer, but our own brain is the one controls everything. In that sense, which is the largest planet can be the qualifier for that. So the Jupiter is the first one to form in the universe and the last one to remain, because they are observed in the other planetary system. This is the one first forms and the last one to disappear. So it has the largest liquid ocean, largest moon, and it is the fastest spinning planet. And it has the largest magnetic field also. So this is the first how it formed from sun to, and it forms first and moves to the middle of our universe slowly. And it is a gaseous planet, but it has a hard core also. It has a gas, liquid, and a solid hydrogen, everything in hydrogen based one. So this is the largest Jupiter size. All the planets can fit into this, our whole system can fit in that much large. So which is the largest it can control, that is the logic we know. So if you take the surface of the Jupiter, it looks almost like a brain's structure, and also it has layers, 8 layers of zones and belts, which controls 8 planets, my hypothesis. But it is possible. It is the inner structure of Jupiter. It is the inner core is hard. Outside is liquid. Solid. One is solid. Another one is liquid, and another one is the gaseous one. So all the forms is hydrogen-based, hydrogen liquid, gas, and solid metallic. So the metallic hydrogen is the one secret it has. That is the one creates all the magnetic power, which MIT is trying to get that. Once we get that, we can create a lot of things. That is the one we are missing. So if you take inside the planet, we can see like a noodle, like metallic hydrogen, which almost looks like our brain noodle structure. And so even the magnetic power of the Jupiter affects the sun also, that much powerful it is. So the sun and Jupiter has their own path. It is eclipse, it circles its own center than our other planets. So it has heart and brain like they act. Sun is our heart, the planet's heart, and Jupiter is our brain. And this is the magnetic power of the Jupiter, where it can reach all the planets. So it creates like a matrix of magnetic field which controls the sun also. So it moves along with that. So they say we came to evolve from Earth because it was prepared for mammals by destroying the parasitic dinosaurs by setting an asteroid. This asteroid was sent by Jupiter, NASA's research funding. It says it controls the asteroid belt between planets. So it has hands in evolution also. Because of that, mammals flourish, and so it has some control like brain to make other planets evolutions. So it may be possible. It is the our matrix like controller. So if you take That's it.
Thank you so much, Father.
You good?
Any questions?
Any questions about science and Jupiter? Okay, all right.
I didn't like it.
Huh?
Nice.
Yeah, very beautiful imaging.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, next up we have Ken, talking about creating OAuth 2.0 credentials in the Google Cloud. Let's give it up for Ken.
One on this side.
USB or USB?
No, the other one.
See?
Oh. So.
It just takes a second. It's picking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to talk about creating OAuth 2.0 credentials in the Google Cloud. Let's say you have a website and you want to have a Google login. Okay. You're going to have to use the Google APIs to do that. And to use those Google APIs, you're going to need to have some credentials. And so I'm going to talk about how to get those credentials and where you put them. Is it on? Can you hear me? I don't have the thing for my mouse. Okay. No. So the credentials you're going to need are a client ID, a secret, and a return URL. The client ID and the secret will be provided by Google. The return URL will be provided by you. So let's go see how to set those up. All right. Well, let's go back to the page. We want to go to the page consolecloudgoogle.com. That's where you're going to get all your credentials. Write that down if you want. It's right over here. You see a lot of, it says APIs and services. Right here is the credentials. You want to go over here and click Create Credentials. And the credentials we want are the OAuth client ID. We don't want the API key or the service account, any of those. We want this one. Okay. And what application type? It's going to be a web application. All right. And we want to add our URI. So, oops. So we want localhost 3000 auth Google callback. That's where Google's going to come back to us. Go back here and hit and click on create. And it gives this pop-up that the OAuth was created. Okay. And then what we want to do is download this, because you're only going to see this secret once. Client secret right there, you're only going to see it once. And you don't want anybody to ever see that, or the client ID. Yeah, even though it's. Okay, now we download it to JSON. Okay, that's good. Okay, so now that we have all those credentials, what are we going to do for? Now we have a client ID, we have the secret, and the return URI. So what are we going to do with those? By the way, I erase these after the show. So. It's fine. So where we're going to put these is in a .env file. In your project, you always have an environment file, like using .env. And in there, you'll have your credentials right there. I mean, like Google Client ID would be that, Google secret like that, redirect URI is like that. For Heroku, they actually do them different. If you're going to set something up there, they do a Heroku config.set. But you want to get a unique set of credentials for each one you're doing. So for localhost, you want unique. For the if you're going to push it up to Heroku, you want that to be unique. If you want, AWS is going to be different. Azure is going to be different. If your friend has a website somewhere, that's going to be different. So it's always different. You don't want to be pushing this .env file up to GitHub where everybody can see it. The other thing about this is then your code is nice and independent. People don't have to have a client file in there. How are we doing on time? Oh, okay. So I'll show you where this is in the actual code. You see that code? Right in this code, this is Node.js right here. You can see this line here, client ID is to process env. That means it's going to go to the .env file and get this parameter here. And all same with the client secret and same with the redirect URL. So in this code, we're trying to log in by Google. That's what this code is doing. And we're going to have all these parameters are going to be there in our application for us. So that's how you get the credentials. Any questions?
Basically, you're creating a way to.
What's that?
Example would be so it looks like, by example, you're creating a credential, for example, to redirect a link.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, that's all I give it is the redirect because they don't know who I am or where to go. So this is I'm telling Google, hey, go here.
You can carry the link out there anywhere you want.
Well,
yeah. It can't be accessed without your credential that you just made.
Yeah, we need the secret and stuff they give me, and then they give me one day, where we were 45 seconds ago, or a minute and 30 seconds ago, maybe we were up on their website getting the credentials. And now I'm in my own world running my own program, and I already have those credentials, and I'm providing them back to them. Saying, oh, this is my like username and password. Here it is, and they know what it is. So when I go in there, I'm a legitimate person, and they also know where to come back to me with this redirect URI.
Does this tie in with having a Google for Business account?
With what?
With like I have a full Google for Business account, Google Workspace, and so on. Does this tie in or integrate into that?
I don't have anything to do with Google Workspace or any of that. I did a chat GPT to get this code. All I wanted was a Google login on my website, and that's anyway.
I think that's more useful than a lot of people realize.
Yeah, it's helpful.
Thank you so much, Ken. Next we have Fabrizio talking about Super App. One more time, do it one more time. A round of applause for Fabrizio. How are you guys doing? Good? Yeah?
Hi.
Hi, this is better like this, or this? This is better, yeah. Hello everybody, my name is Fabrizio. I'm from Brazil, and I'm so excited to stay here with you because you are a huge community of hackers, entrepreneurs in this kind of thing, and every day I became more impressed with Silicon Valley and with you. I'm here because I'm working in a bank to run a project about super app Super App is an app basically with a lot of services that we can release to the customers to increase the services, to increase the quality, to increase the amount of time that the users spend inside of the app, to improve the quality, and of course to sell more things. To do this kind of project is not so easy, because when you increase the amount of features, you increase, of course, the complexity of software. And we are here exactly to fix it, to find partners, to find suppliers, and to find better ways to do it. There's something interesting about the bank that I'm working. The name of the bank is PRB. 3 years ago, we had 1 million customers, and they decided to do an interesting thing that I will share with you, because it's very, very interesting. We did a partnership with the biggest football team of Brazil, and because of this partnership, we increased our customers in just 4 million in 2 years. Yeah, and the bank is spread around the country, and now we have this challenge. I would like to share with you my contacts, if everybody would like to speak about it and to give ideas, to talk about challenge, because we have a lot. We are trying to increase the amount of features, to deliver new features quickly, and we have a lot of challenges, especially to load mini apps dynamically. Thank you, and I hope to speak to you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabrizio. Next, we have Steve talking about macroeconomics/crypto updates.
I have to set my beautiful computer before I can start.
No.
Sorry. Yes, here we go. Okay.
We just use the microphone.
Boom.
To use microphone.
Boom. So, hi everyone. I'm trying to be very concise. So we have two graphs, or 2 parts, and several graphs in each part. First is positive, the second is negative. So on the positive side, so you remember people talking about this inverted yield curve. So here's this inverted yield curve on the graph. It happened, of course, much earlier in the year, but I'm just here to show you how it works. Last week, the short T-bills surged to 5.189, which far above the long-term yields, which theoretically give us a positive signal that traders now thinking, yes, the recession will be short-term, because of course they're trying to get more money in the shorter term rather than commit to the longer term. That's basically the rationale. So the second positive graph is Empire State Manufacturing Index is up. Then we have PMI Composite Index up. But what I wanted to draw to our attention is actually China GDP, because now we get like global competition going on. Chinese reporting is not particularly reliable, of course, but people still watching it because in the nearest macroeconomical view, probably China might be the most important economical driver in the world. So what we see here is basically, according to Chinese Communist Party reports, So we have blue line is inflation, which you can see here is kind of a down. It's a small down. And we have new orders, which is manufacturers' orders. Red are up, which is also good news. Interest rate, leisure color is steady, so they are not rising as the Federal Reserve, so providing their community with, or business community with more money. Again, this community print products which we consume, and then they are also showing as a huge intake of the capital. So that was a positive news for the week. On the negative side, each of the 12 districts, Federal Reserve banks, they publish their own indexes on different sides. Philadelphia is one of these 12 districts. And the fact that they reported that decline of minus 31 points doesn't mean too much in a broader sense. However, it is unprecedented because, as you can see, so low we reached, said like in 2022, in 2020. We also reached in during the mortgage crisis, then in the 90s, in 2000, when everything was crushed, and at the end of the 80s. So it's a historic. However, Beige Book, which is overall reporting of the Beige Book, is published by Federal Reserve, and that's a report of the state of the global US economy. They say that economic growth is moderate, with employment starting a little bit down ticking, which is good because everyone expecting form. The Federal Open Market Committee meeting at May 2 and May 2nd and 3rd, and everyone is prepared for that. Okay, and resulting graph, as forecast, it's basically range. So we got a correction from the main resistance line. Okay, I'm done. Thank you. Any questions?
I got a question. So you said that Bitcoin is going to go down. Is that within a term of like 3 months, or what's your?
Oh, that's a monthly. But compared to the rise of the past, that's again monthly. We have 3 months of almost uninterrupted growth on all sides, not only in Bitcoin. Compared to that, this is basically not even the correction yet. So we expect correction at about maybe, according to Fibonacci, basically 13–50% of the growth. So it's basically either here or here. So, but still, markets kind of stumbled because traders, again, they're expecting the week after the next is going to be Federal Open Market Committee meeting, and they will decide on the rate, which everyone expects for us. Okay. That's it. Say it again?
Are you bullish long term?
Well, I'm cautious long term. You see this three scenario. So now markets are playing middle scenario. So I made a projection here. So until now it goes as projected like 7 months ago by myself, according to the middle scenario. But who knows? No one knows the future for sure. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
That's your
Okay, thank you so much for coming to Hacker Dojo's Lightning Talks. I hope you had a good time. Go ahead and have some fun. There's some beer, there's something fun. Help yourself out. Have a good night. Thank you.
See you next week.
Stop drinking coffee.